Welcome to the Kenyan coast, bathed by the Indian Ocean. The sun is slowly rising above the Kenyan Swahili coast. The name alone signifies that we are about to meet a coastal culture. The word Swahili comes from the Arabic word sahil, meaning coast, and the plural is sawahel. It is a seafaring culture inherently linked to trade in the Indian Ocean. This coastline began to lure Arabic and Persian merchants as early as the first millennium AD. The area was rich in ivory, but the slave trade was by far the most lucrative at the time. Today, the coast is a source of revenue for fishermen and from tourists. Mombasa, a city of almost 1 million inhabitants. It has a distinguished past. First records of its existence come from 16th century Portuguese seafarers. The traffic anarchy can seem bewildering to the unsuspecting tourists. The locals, however, have it down to a science. The portrait of President Obama, whose grandparents came from Kenya, is to be seen on many matatu, the local version of a minibus taxi. Amid the busy street life, city parks are a welcome oasis of peace and quiet sought out by the locals, just to relax or enjoy a small picnic. In between the thick trunks of the baobab trees, they find ample shade. But attention must be paid to the large pods growing on the trees and falling at times. The pods do not fall of their own accord. It wouldn't be Africa if it were not for a few enterprising individuals operating in the crowns of the trees. And so, the trees offer relaxing shady niches to some and a livelihood to others. The baobab tree is very popular among the people. The leaves are considered great eating when included in salads. The seeds are used as a thickening agent in cooking, and people use the ground bark as a cure for fever. Collection of this fruit may seem a risky business, but the wide boughs are sidewalks to the feet of an experienced collector. The baobab fruit is commonly used in Swahili cuisine. It offers more vitamin C than oranges and provides more calcium than cow's milk. It is often referred to as the fruit of the future. One of the most sought-after commodities in this part of Africa is candy made from baobab fruit. The pulp, called mabuyu, is cleaned of the fibers. The fibers are utilized in the making of purees and as an additive to milk. No kitchen utensils required here. The pulp is carefully selected. This is followed by the preparation of a red dye with a dash of chili. When it's ready, the pulp is colored in the dye and sweetened. And there it is, a candy treat. The baobab is, indeed, a tree worth singing praise to, not just due to its sheer size, but because of how practical it is. Not all cities survived the pitfalls of centuries past. For unknown reasons, life suddenly vanished from the city of Gedi at the end of the 17th century. The city is veiled in mystery. Though no official records exist, the expanse of observable ruins gives silent testimony to the wealth and glory of Gedi. In the first half of the 20th century, archaeologists unearthed the remains of a port and a tomb dating back to the end of the 14th century. Neither gave away any secrets. It is almost as if Gedi was cursed, or that something wanted to deny it ever existed at all. It is a place perfectly suited for an H.P. Lovecraft story. The city was devoured by the jungle, and its ruins are now occupied by a troop of green monkeys. Their monkey ancestors may have lived here a few hundred years ago, but they also didn't keep any written records. The sheer size of Gedi, as well as its mystery, is breathtaking. Baobab trees are to be found here too, and the green monkeys aren't about to miss out on the tree's delicious fruit. Green monkeys live in great troops, and the hierarchy within the troops is infallible. According to many scientists, these monkeys are able to articulate threats they sense from other animals. They use a specific screech, for instance, when a leopard lurks nearby. They will use a screech with different characteristics when they spot a snake or see an eagle. At a very young age, monkeys learn the sounds from their elders. Similar to naughty adolescents, they derive great pleasure and entertainment from freaking out the adults using these warning sounds just for the heck of it. The mother monkeys have no tolerance for such silly pranks and are determined to teach their young good manners. The youngsters are in for a good walloping. That is, if the mothers manage to catch them. Because monkeys have a natural tendency to be aggressive, the monkeys hang around the visitors, having learned that food is to be found in all sorts of dodgy places. Monkeys are not the only animals thriving in the surrounding forest. This is the single largest stretch of solid coastal jungle in East Africa. Eucalyptus dominates here, and the illegal exploitation of timber has taken its toll. For the time being, the jungle is holding its own. It is large and vast. As a result, animals are able to continue to find refuge there. An abundance of endangered bird and butterfly species gather here, as does a herd of elephants. Unfortunately, the growth is too thick and impenetrable for us to see them. A man without a donkey is a donkey. This is one of many Swahili proverbs. It applies especially on the island of Lamu. Its capital, Lamu, dates back to the beginning of the 16th century. The unimaginable wealth of its inhabitants no doubt came from the trade in ivory and slaves. The city has managed to maintain its character and remains a unique example of Swahili architecture. It has been included by UNESCO as a cultural heritage site. Clearly, no other means of transport but a donkey would do in its narrow, winding streets. 2 tractors appeared on the island recently, and the police force can also brag of its own vehicle. This is no match for the donkeys, though. There are 3,000 donkeys on the island, so they ensure that they are the majority of the interstate transportation. The goods are offloaded in the port. From there, they reach their designated destination atop one of these stubborn creatures. The baskets used as saddlebags are made of palm leaves. The leaves are first dried, then the women weave them into narrow strips, which are eventually sewn together. The same technique has been used forever. Mattresses and other merchandise made of palm leaves were exported from Lamu. Their import is mentioned everywhere, including on the island of Zanzibar.